Hey all, welcome back to the channel, and if you're here for the first time, then welcome for the first time. Any of you who know me well realize that I'm not much of a masterpiece guy. Never have been, probably never will be, because masterpiece is a synonym for perfect, and more often than not, these guys aren't that perfect, but every now and then, an opportunity to look at an MP of some sort falls into my lap. And there's even been a couple of occasions where indeed they have lived up to the moniker of being MP, and so enters this guy. It is the movie masterpiece, Ironhide. How is he gonna fare? Well, we're about to find out in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, so very important, please subscribe, and while you're at it, that's right man, hit that notification bell. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up on the channel, from reviews to countdowns to stop motions and everything else. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors, NL, and the Autobot family. Have a look for me everywhere across social media. And this is the officially licensed MPM masterpiece Ironhide from the movies. And it's so strange. Like, I'm glad I'm having an opportunity to look at this. This isn't mine. This is on loan to me by a good friend of the channel, Wayne. And it wouldn't have been for me, but I have heard a lot of people say that they actually prefer the studio series over the masterpiece. That seems almost unfathomable to me. I mean, shouldn't this thing be perfect, right? I don't know. We're about to find out when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. Now, I just want to reiterate that I'm not a masterpiece guy. I'm not a fan of the line. I don't think it's worth the money. I really don't. It's an uphill climb. I just want to reiterate that so that we're perfectly clear. That being said, though, I must admit that I did think that movie masterpiece Barricade was perfect. He was, by my estimation, exactly what a masterpiece should be. He had perfect paint. He had, or as perfect as I think you're going to get, he had fantastic articulation, he had a great transformation, and I actually gave him 10s. Now, arguably, some people might not, but I actually gave him 10s and thought that he lived up to the moniker of masterpiece. I looked at him some time ago in episode 481. I don't have him because he was on loan, but I can't deny that he was quite good. I have heard that there are issues with this guy and that he's not so good. In fact, I've heard that the studio series Ironhide is better than this, which would flabbergast me, I don't know. But I did look at studio series Ironhide in episode 458. Again, I don't have him. He wasn't mine. He was on loan to me by a friend of the channel, John. So, in terms of starting things off, we have your typical kind of movie masterpiece box here. And we can see that it says Masterpiece Movie Edition, or Movie Series, and it's officially licensed, of course. We have nice images on the front there. We have an image of the vehicle on the side here. We have an image of Ironhide over on this side, and of course on the back, we do have a number of product images as well, but we're more interested with what's inside the box, baby. And we start things off with these instructions. They're only okay. There are certain aspects with this guy that are not easy to show in images, and this doesn't show them that well in images. And he comes with this blaster. It can rotate up here. Okay, I guess it's fine. It looks nice. It's molded nice. And this here nicely molded Gatling gun type of blaster. Again, this piece rotates if you want that. It's nice. And they fit on his arms kinda underslung like this. And it looks kinda sorta like this. I do find that the extra weight on his arms tend to make the panels behind his arms kinda, I don't know, looser than I'd like. I don't know if there's a way to lock it in. I haven't really seen it, but it's alright. It's fine for display, but I do kind of like the way the two blasters mounted on the arms of the Studio Series one better than this. I will say that right off the bat. Here he is next to Siege Ironhide, because, you know, why not? I know, it's not movie stuff, but like, Siege Ironhide is the most similar thing we currently have right now to the way Ironhide looked in that scene on Cybertron in the Bumblebee film. If you are operating from the idea that that's not actually a reboot, but like a prequel, then I don't understand how our red and gray lad kind of turns into the truck. It's just me. Unfortunately, I don't have any other like kind of movie masterpieces to compare him to, but like he's a big hefty lad with die-cast parts, not the Siege, the movie masterpiece. So in terms of his paint apps, I'm gonna say it's a 10. I know that I probably gave a high score, and I don't remember what it was now, to the Studio Series one, though that I did add some custom paint on. But I look at this, and yeah, it's movie Ironhide. I'm gonna say it's a 10. I do want to note something right now, because I'll forget it if I don't. On his two chest pieces, you can see on this side a G and part of the M, and on the other side, the other half of the M and a C. And in doing the conversion, when I got to a point where those two chess pieces went together, I really struggled with it. And even after it was done, I noticed, wait, it looks like the GMC logo is there twice. There's little pieces there that need to go turned around. And a lot of people forget to do that and leave them the incorrect way, where the G and part of the M and the other half of the M and the C is not visible in robot mode. It's supposed to be, but there are little pieces there that turn, and if you don't do it, you're going to struggle to get the truck together. If you do it, it makes it exponentially easier because they are supposed to be turned. I'm just mentioning it now because I'm sure when we get into the monstrosity of a conversion with this guy that I'm expecting it to be, it's going to probably get forgotten. I apologize. So 10 for paint apps. What about the articulation in this mode? I guess it's okay. We have a head that goes left and right. It can go up and down. His jaw opens and closes. I have it open right now, but it does open and close. Like, there you go. Now I have it closed. Nice range of motion in the head. The chest pieces, I guess they kind of get out of the, his arms are weird. His arms are very, very weird. I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to take that off. And we're just going to lay those to the side. But ratcheted elbow, which I like, and I think it's a double elbow, so it's nice and deep. We have a wrist, we have, it looks like 3 fingers, and then we have the individual finger connected at a base pin, I think. I don't want to pull on that too much because this isn't mine. Little bit of movement at the thumb, not a lot. We do get like a bicep swivel. Way out to the side. In terms of the arm getting all the way around, though, I don't feel like that's happening. It can move back and forth a bit, but not. I don't know. It seems because of the way it's connected to that chest, it seems a little bit cumbersome, and the arms seem to sit. Bring that piece up, even though it's for transformation. The arms do, of course, sit back kind of far on the body. The shoulders they're more limited than I would like them to be. I think they're a little more limited than I would like them to be. The waist, there is a waist. You kind of have to get these sections off a bit here on the waist, but you know, he'll turn. Leg goes way back, way forward. We have a swivel that's not so much a thigh swivel as an above the knee swivel. We get about 90 degrees at the knee. We get an ankle rocker back and forth, or ankle tilt back and forth. We get a rocker, I think, to this. Yeah, a little, not much of a rocker, a little bit, but not a lot. Now his feet are die cast, so he stands super duper securely. Anyway, the articulation is okay. It's a little bit weird. I have to like double check these shoulders, man. There is a butterfly hinge here too, for the record, which is nice. But I don't know, I wish the arms could go ahead more, and I'm not seeing a way to do it. The limitation on the arms is disappointing to me anyway. Like, I think that's really disappointing. 7, it almost ruins this for me, and I just realized it now. Yes, he can get dynamic poses, but like his arms can barely go forward. For a masterpiece, that seems unforgivable for me. You know what? I'm going to take a closer look at that. We're going to take a cut here now because I gotta believe that that moves more than that. So I took a closer look, and this hinge right here is really the shoulder hinge. It can go way back, but in terms of going forward, like, you can bring it forward, but like his big chest really doesn't allow much forward movement. And you can get this whole chest piece to move, but you have to kind of untransform it to do it. So I think that that's an absolute fail of the way the shoulders were handled. I'm sticking with the 7. So we have a 10, we have a 7. Overall, right now, the guy is about an 8.5. That's not good enough. It's masterpiece. It needs to be perfect. This guy isn't perfect. So again, I go back to what I've always said about masterpiece. The line is a lie. Don't call yourself something you're not. These shoulders are poorly engineered. What about the transformation? Maybe that will be so good that it will make up for the lackluster shoulders. Okay, so we're going to jump into the transformation. Expect a lot of cuts here because there's a lot of little moving parts. This is not easy to film. I'm going to tell you that now. Really super duper not easy to film. So we're going to start from the bottom, try and work our way up. We put the sides of the feet in, and then you kind of straighten them out. These little kneecaps are a nuisance and a pain. Take that out to the side, kind of like that. Same over here. We take that out. We open it from the inside out and kind of bring it to the side, sort of like we kind of just leave them out for. And now, bring the knee pads down, I suppose. Sort of angle back the feet, kind of. You're sort of bending the leg a bit. Then this whole section up here on the hip, you take that off and you're going to bring this down. You need to get this out of the way, but you bring this down and then it goes in under the knee pad. Same over on this side. You need to open this up and bring the whole rear tire down. It goes under the knee pad. That's not clear at all in the instructions. Now you should be able to go to the back and basically we put down his toes and we put down his toes. Now we kind of have the back of the vehicle. All of this now should be able to kind of go tab together on the side. There's a bunch of like rectangular tabs and slots, and that should be able to kind of hold it in place, kind of, sort of. So we're going to take that out. I'm going to get these tabs on and then we'll take it up from there because this is just me tabbing things in. Before we go on, it's really important that you know that this little black tab goes slotted into a slot kind of just on the other side right here. It's not easy to see, but it's a little rectangular tab that goes into a little slot down there, and that's what holds like the back tire in place so that we can solidify the back end of the truck. And this is the back end of the truck done. This section right here, the cover on the bed, I don't know what it's called. That part there is actually his feet flipped out. So his feet are like inside of there. Or at least the back end of his feet. His toes are actually kind of poking out down bottom here. I guess it's supposed to be like a bumper, I suppose. That's the bottom part done. Believe it or not, that's the easy part. I will also say this, going from vehicle back to robot is exponentially easier than going in this direction. I guess we'll get into the upper body next. Okay, I guess we'll try and deal with the upper body next. So we bring that piece down because that loosens up the whole body. We come around to the back and we pick this piece off and we should be able to flip it out and out. And do I need to flip this around? No, I don't. I need to straighten it up though. This is the back window of the truck, but like it's not a window. It's molded there, but it's not a window. And then, gosh, this is hard to show. There's two little pegs right there, and those two little pegs go into holes that are kind of on his waist, on his belt, so to speak, and that will solidify all of this kind of into position where it needs to be here by the bed of the vehicle. By the way, I didn't mention it, but you do have like some rectangular tabs that slot down into positions right there to help solidify this rear window in position, I guess. I don't like the soft rubbery plastic used for his smokestacks. I'm just waiting for that to break off. Not a fan. Then we come up here to the body, and there's a gray section in here that should pull out, but it doesn't seem to want to do it right now. I need to get that out because then his head flips down to his chest. It took a little fiddling, but I finally got it out, and you will notice that we have the GMC logo right there because this is going to be the center of the hood when it eventually comes around. So we turn this guy around now, and we can open out his chest, and you'll notice now we have like a big slot there in his chest. That's where his head will swivel down into, like that for now. But what's important to note is right here and right here on the side of his chest, you need to flip those panels around because they should not have the letters facing out. They should just be plain like this from this point forward. I've seen a lot of conversions done of this guy, and that step is left out, neglected almost every single time, and it's crucial. I guess we can sort of just straighten that out kind of for now, like that, and we'll sort of just leave it for now. Whew. Okay, so now we're going to sort of begin to bring these sections on the side. Now, here's the thing, the two chest pieces do tab in. This one untabs and comes up nicely. This one does not. It's in there very uncomfortably tight down in the body here. Again, I need to get that untabbed, and this side of his chest rotated upward. This isn't mine. Again, I'm gonna take a cut here. I told you it was gonna be a lot this time. Okay, so now that I got him up, and like I said, it's the tab on that one side of the chest is uncomfortable on this copy. You come here, like these little sections are out over the tires. You take them now and fold them in behind the tire. And the tire kind of comes out, but right now it's sort of just spring loaded. You do the same on the other side and you bring it in, if I can do it, in behind the tire. And now we need to try and get like the front of the vehicle kind of starting to get together. Now, pardon the weird angle, but I wanted to specifically point this out. You will notice we have the GMC logo in between and just two parts of the grille on the sides. If you don't flip those pieces around, you're gonna have a really weird looking grille that does not like to tab together. Not that this tabs together particularly well, but even right now, we cannot at this point tab this together because the arms need to be dealt with first. There's no doubt about that. And you kind of come here and you bring this down and sort of forward on the arm, and then you close in the hand, and the thumb kind of gives like a thumbs up symbol, and that is what kind of comes along the side of the truck, and then we should be able to begin to open out the side of the truck here. So if you've done it correctly, this is what your arm should basically look like now, with the hand kind of giving a thumbs up and the truck piece on the like outside of the forearm and folded out. These two arms will technically become the side of the vehicle. The piece that's hanging down behind here will be the windshield and the roof. Man, I hear what you're saying, GotBot. That's fine and dandy to have the side of the truck there, but how do you move the arm to get it in position? Well, basically what's going to happen is you're using that shoulder, that terrible shoulder, that can barely move forward, but thankfully it can move way back because you're going to need it to move way back so that you can kind of slot this up over the roof here, and then you can fold this out. The only thing to note at the moment is you take this whole section and there's a little hinge in here, bring that all the way back, and I guess you can open it out if you are so inclined. Then using this shoulder hinge, you bring this all the way up, and now you're going to try and kind of solidify all of that on this side and tab it together so that you can do it on both sides, so that you'll end up being able to tab both arms together via the windshield and the roof. Okay, so now I have one side done, tabbed in. There's a tab that goes in down here. There are tabs that go in along the top. There are clear plastic tabs along right here. They're pretty uncomfortable. This is tabbed in, but it doesn't particularly like to stay tabbed in. I'm hoping it will solidify when we do the other side. I'm going to show you the other side just so I can show you the tabs and the tab slots that they're supposed to go in. There's a lot of like very specific tabbing that needs to be done, and on this copy the tolerances aren't great. Tabs aren't the right size. They don't tab in comfortably well at all. Though I have admittedly seen other copies where they seem to tab in perfectly just like butter, so it might just be this copy. So if we look at the other side, we have a tab, a black tab down here and two clear plastic tabs up here. Furthermore, we have on this piece, we have like a half notch and then a full notch. They're going to go down over the top of something. And on the front here, we have another clear plastic tab, and we have two more tabs up here on the roof section, two tabs on this part of the roof section. They're supposed to tab together. They tab into different locations. The door ones tab in right there, as well as going up the side in right here, and the ones that are on the back, the slots, tab into tabs up here on the rear window, and that clear tab tabs in under the hood, and then we have to solidify the entire hood together. There's a lot of tabs here. I'm going to take this arm, I'm going to bend it back like it's supposed to be, all the way back on that shoulder hinge, all the way back. And then you bend it kind of at the elbow, and now you need to start solidifying all of those tabs together. Eventually you're going to tab the two roof sections together, and then you're going to have to tab the two hood sections into the center section and tab the windshield together. There's an excessive amount here. Now that I've gotten the sides and the roof and the windshield together, we just have the front left to go, but there's a couple of kind of interesting points that I need to point out, because it's more than just kind of tabbing the two halves to the centerpiece. This piece that was folded into his body, it came out of the cavity where his head now rests. It opens out to the sides, it will come down, it will be his front bumper. However, many people have also wondered, and I've seen this, again, missed on a lot of the conversions for this guy that's been shown. How do you get these tires to stay out? This hinge here pulls down and kind of goes in behind it. Same over here. You come up here, where that peg is, and you pull it down. And that's what holds out the front tires when he's in his truck mode. Now it's just a matter of kind of coming to the front here and tabbing these pieces together and tabbing the bumper up underneath. Not that that's easy. And boom, here we finally have him in his truck mode. I'm going to tell you now, this does not feel secure or solid. This is as delicate as a flower. As soon as one tab is loose, and I'm going to tell you now, there's still a loose tab on the hood here. If I squeeze that anymore to try and get it in place, I'm going to pop out at least 5 other tabs. At least 5 other tabs. I guess the running boards down here have slots in them where you could put in the 2 blasters if you're so inclined. One on that side and the other one, I assume I can put that other one over here. So here is the absolute completed vehicle mode. It does roll tremendously well. There's nice clearance off the ground, but getting here is a beast. Absolute beast. Way too many panels and tabs for something that is supposed to be perfect. There's far too many panels. If you like panels and tons of tabs, then this will be for you. But the extent of the panels and tabs on this reminds me of something like Impossible Toys Tetrajet Seekers. They were bejoodles of tabs and pegs. This is like that. It's as fiddly and finicky as that. He was getting an 8.5 because he had a score of 10 for his paint apps. He had a 7 for his articulation because of those terrible shoulders. The transformation is overly engineered. It's not satisfying in the least. I'm done this and I'm like, I don't even enjoy this alt mode now because it was too much needless work to get here. I don't like it. I'm giving it a 5. I can't even say that like I think it's design genius. It's just too difficult. I don't think it's design genius. I don't think it's very good. A 5. He was getting a 7.5. Overall, this might be a 6. If you can get him on sale, like go for it. But I can guarantee you that there's no way on any planet that this is worth the full asking price because it's not fun, it's not enjoyable, and it doesn't really look that great. Honestly, I had heard that the Studio Series Ironhide is better, and now that I've experienced this myself, yeah, the Studio Series Ironhide is better. And here we are once again, and here we have Ironhide in this truck mode, and like, it's so much work to get here that I don't feel rewarded with the truck mode. However, that being said, like, I do like the end result. Like, it is a nice looking truck. There's no doubt about it. So let's kind of do the good and the bad here. On the good side, the paint is excellent. It's really well done, and the guy does have die cast in his feet at the very least. That makes him extremely stable to stand. However, the articulation is more hindered than I would like for it to be. The legs they're fine, really, for the most part, but the arms and the shoulders really kind of kill it for me. There's hinges there and they move, but it's a little bit odd, and I do feel like the arms are back further on the body than they should be. I could be wrong about that. Somebody could correct me. Maybe they're very far back on his body in the movie, but even in trying to swing them forward, his chest piece is so big that it doesn't seem like it swings forward well. Now, I could be missing another hinge or a joint somewhere, but it seems like the only way I can get kind of any sensible movement out of that is to unpeg the chest, and the left side pegs in real tight. It's kind of scary tight. The conversion is, in my estimation, needlessly complicated and over-engineered. However, that being said as well, I don't particularly care for it and think it's more fiddly than it needs to be. There are going to be those out there who will say that level of complexity is perfect. It's not to me. Maybe I would be more forgiving of the level of complexity if so much of the transformation didn't rely on so many panels and tabs having to peg into each other. I mean, you go through the center of this guy. Literally the entire center of this guy is rectangular, I guess, tabs and ports that they need to go into. And if even one of those is off slightly, this guy will not tab together perfectly well. In fact, even now, it's tabbed together well, but it's still, like, the hood is still not quite perfect. The resulting truck is great, but I feel like it's a lot more work than it needs to be, than it should be to get here. Is the Studio Series better? Yeah, I think it is. I enjoyed that more. I felt like the articulation was better on it, and the transformation, while still challenging, I felt like it worked better than this. I couldn't give this high marks because, for me, though I love the look of the guy, the other two factors are just as important. The articulation has to be there, and for something called a masterpiece, I should be able to do anything with this that my imagination can concoct. In terms of the transformation, I enjoy when a transformation is clever, when things are incorporated. I don't feel like this was clever. I feel like they very much wanted to retain a very accurate robot mode as much as they could, and of course they had the licensed vehicle mode, so they wanted that extremely accurate. And I don't know if the two really mesh very well to give us a functional version of the character. I guess to each their own. I can't give it high scores, but perhaps you are more forgiving than I am. Let me know what you think about this guy. Do you like him? Do you not like him? What is it that you like or dislike about him? You know I love to hear from you guys. I appreciate you coming by. Give me some of your extremely valuable time. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, there is a donate link down in the description. Please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out so very much. Don't forget, somehow, some way, each and every day, you do make a difference. Right now, I implore you, please make wise choices for you and for everybody around you. And I look forward, man, to the next time that you and I get together, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way, to have another visit right here inside the videos.